Hi there, this is Pablo. In this video, I'm going to show you how to use Salto to see where your Zendesk fields are being used and really understand what's going on in your Zendesk instance. So let's say that I'm the Zendesk administrator for this instance. We have a field called support level, which is a drop-down with 3 values. The business has requested that we start using another field that should be a multi-select drop-down because it turns out that customers can have overlapping support levels. Unfortunately, I cannot change the type of this field to a multi-select dropdown, so my only option is to create a new field. Now, there's a big problem. I'm going to have to go to every single automation, trigger, macro, view, and update their criteria, conditions, and actions to use the new field. But I don't even know where this field is being used. I know we heavily use it, but I'm not sure where to start. Now, I could take advantage of the fact that this is a drop-down, so I could look at one of the tags, let's say this one, signature support, and I could go over to the rule analysis area and see if I can find this tag being used somewhere. And it turns out we're actually using it here. So this is a good start. I can see that my field is being used in one automation, one view, and one macro. But again, I know we actually use it a lot more. I remember we used it in some SLAs. We also used it in some routing conditions. And I'm pretty sure we have even hard-coded the ID as a placeholder in multiple macro emails and dynamic content. So I'm in a real problem here because it seems the only option is to go business rule by business rule and find where that field is used. So let's see how we can solve this problem using Salto. Salto is super easy to use. All we have to do is go here and create a new environment. We're going to call this Zendesk Production, and then we're going to click on Create Environment. And we're going to connect to an app. Here we're going to choose Zendesk Support, Next, and then we're going to log in with our username and password. And now I'm going to click Connect and Fetch. Great, so now what's happening is Salto is downloading all the configuration of your Zendesk account, and then we'll be able to do a lot of different things that would be impossible if we were just using the Zendesk UI. Okay, so the fetch has completed, and now all of our Zendesk configuration is available here on the element tree. Now, it may seem a little strange to see the Zendesk configuration in a different application, but it's actually very simple. Let's go ahead and take a look at one example. I'm going to go to the macros folder here, and I'm going to choose one of these macros. And as you can see, this is the same information that you would see in the Zendesk UI. For example, I can see what are the actions that the macro is doing. For example, it's assigning a group, in this case a support group. It is updating the escalation status field to the value escalated, and it is also making a public comment. Again, this is the exact same configuration that you would see in Zendesk. It just looks a little bit different. In fact, you can also just go here and open the 3-dot menu and click on Open in Zendesk Support, and you'll see that it is the same thing. Okay, so the problem we had is we wanted to see where this support level field was being used so that we know where we need to make our changes. So we're going to go back to Salto and we're going to search for support level. And see how easy it is to find one of my custom fields. So here's the field support level. And now on the references here, I can just click on Use By. And just like that, I can see all the areas where the field is used. I can see my automations, my macros, routing attributes, and SLA policies. Remember, these were actually not available on the rule analysis tab. So I'm actually getting a lot of value here by just being able to see this information at a glance. And then I can start investigating where my field is used. For example, I can go ahead and open this macro, or I can look at one of the automations, click here. And again, I can always look at the details here directly in Salto, or I can just open the menu here and open the automation in Zendesk Support. So this was great for seeing where the field was being used in terms of macros, automations, views, SLA policies, and routing attributes. But what about where we hard-coded the field ID as a placeholder? It could have been anywhere, maybe some dynamic content, or maybe in some emails that we're sending through macros. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back to Zendesk, and I'm just going to copy the field ID here. Go back to Salto, and I'm just going to drop it here. Now I can see here on the content tab that there are 2 results. It appears that we're using that field ID on a dynamic content. Let's open that up. Okay, great. We see it here. And it appears that it's also being used under a macro. Most likely when we send an email to a customer. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. So it was really easy for me to find all the locations where this field is used, whether it is by using the field ID or by using the field name in the case of macros, policies, etc. And that's how easy it is to use Salto to really understand what's going on in your Zendesk instance.